Cryptocurrencies are widely known but rarely understood. Most people have heard the word, seen the headlines, or used the technology indirectly, yet very few can clearly explain how digital money can exist without a bank. So how do cryptocurrencies actually work? Money has always been a system of trust. In traditional financial systems, trust is provided by central institutions. Banks verify transactions, payment processors move money, governments issue and regulate currency. This model works, but it has a weakness. It depends on intermediaries. If a central authority fails, is compromised, or is restricted, the system breaks. Cryptocurrencies were created as an alternative approach to this problem. At their core, cryptocurrencies are decentralized systems. There is no central bank, no single server, no controlling organization. Instead, the system is maintained by a network of independent participants. Trust is not placed in an institution, but in mathematics, cryptography, and shared rules. This idea is the foundation of all cryptocurrencies. To understand how this works, we need to look at the blockchain. A blockchain is a distributed ledger. It is a record of transactions shared across many computers in a network. Transactions are grouped into blocks. Each block contains a reference to the previous one. This creates a chain. Once a block is added, altering it would require changing every block that follows across most of the network at the same time. This makes the blockchain extremely resistant to manipulation. Now let's look at how a transaction is created. When you send cryptocurrency, your wallet creates a transaction message. This message includes who is sending, who is receiving, and how much is being transferred. The transaction is digitally signed using a private cryptographic key. This signature proves ownership without revealing the key itself. The signed transaction is then broadcast to the network. Once broadcast, the transaction must be verified. This is where consensus comes in. Nodes in the network independently check whether the transaction follows the rules. Only valid transactions are accepted. But agreeing on which transactions come next requires coordination. This is solved using consensus mechanisms. In some cryptocurrencies, consensus is achieved through a process called mining. Mining is a way for the network to agree on which transactions are valid and which block should be added next to the blockchain. Computers in the network compete to solve cryptographic puzzles. The first one to solve the puzzle earns the right to add a new block. This process secures the blockchain and makes it extremely difficult to alter past transactions. It is important to note that mining is not the only way to secure a network. Many modern systems use alternative methods that do not rely on mining at all. Because the blockchain is distributed, each participant holds a copy of the ledger. To change past data, an attacker would need to control a majority of the network at the same time. As the network grows, this becomes increasingly impractical. Security is achieved not through secrecy, but through transparency and scale. This leads to key differences between cryptocurrencies and traditional money. Cryptocurrency transactions can cross borders easily, do not require banks, and are publicly verifiable. At the same time, they are irreversible. If a mistake is made, there is no central authority to reverse it. This places more responsibility on the user. Despite their strengths, cryptocurrencies have limitations. They can be difficult to use. Transaction speeds may be slower than traditional systems. Some networks consume significant energy. Price volatility remains a major challenge. These are not flaws of a single system, but trade-offs in an evolving technology. Today, cryptocurrencies are used in more ways than simple payments. They power decentralized applications, smart contracts, and financial systems that operate without centralized control. Rather than replacing traditional money entirely, they exist alongside it, solving specific problems in specific contexts. The technology continues to evolve. New consensus mechanisms are being developed. Scaling solutions are improving performance. Regulation is shaping how cryptocurrencies interact with existing systems. The future is likely not one system replacing another, but multiple systems coexisting. Cryptocurrencies are not money created out of nothing. They are engineering solutions to a problem of trust. Even if you never use them, understanding how they work helps explain how modern digital systems can operate without centralized control.